Hello everyone and welcome to episode 84 of Legacy Gaming with Atari Man 71. Before I begin, I'd like to remind everyone to play the games you have. It's great to grow your collection, but remember to play the games you already have. I'm doing these streams and recordings because I have an extensive collection and I really hadn't touched it in almost 15 years. Try not to collect these like they're trading cards, which is what I was doing. They were made to be played, so I think that you should. I'm playing mine and I'm having a great time. I think it's good for the cartridges too. I just want to add that if you enjoy retro gaming, or legacy gaming as I'm calling these games, and videos like this, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm active on all three platforms under the name Atari Man 71. On this episode, I'm going to be playing three games which were published by M Network. The game titles are Armor Ambush, Tron Deadly Discs, and Lock and Chase. So the first game on my list for today is Armor Ambush. I'll select that cartridge, show it to you here. Maybe it'll focus, I don't know. I'll put it in my Atari. Turn on my video capture card. Let's see. And then turn the game on. 25 to 25. So the information I have about Armor Ambush, it is cartridge MT5661, was released in 1982, and it uses two joysticks because it is a two-player game only. So as always, I have my trusty Wiko command controller and my backup, I don't know who makes this, Amiga or Commodore or somebody. There's no name on it, but it's like a Pro Arcade stick. It has micro switches in it, and it's actually pretty good. The buttons are actually leaf buttons. They're really light touch, so you don't need to touch much to get them to activate. So I'm familiar with this game from my childhood, but I didn't know anyone that had it, and I never played it. It's probably due to the fact that every 2600 came packaged with the game Combat, and so that has a tank battle game as part of it, and there was really no motivation to buy another tank game, even if it did have improvements over the original. The improvements were minimal at best. Also, I first purchased this cartridge 15 years ago. I never really played it either. This game is only for two players, and I'll play it a little bit to show you the gameplay, but without a competitor, it's going to get boring really quick. And I apologize for that, but I figure people would want to see it if they don't have it. So Armor Ambush is a game that gives players control over tanks that battle one another over a terrain and offers varying degrees of textures and traversability. Dueling tanks was a familiar theme for owners of the 2600 since Combat, the game package with nearly every 2600 system, had a very similar premise. However, Armor Ambush expands upon the simple battles available to players of Combat. This game takes place on differently randomly selected battlefields. Each round is a different battlefield. Players are able to control two tanks and switch between them on command. The terrain is more diverse, featuring areas of foliage, water, and natural barriers, as well as buildings. A couple of noteworthy mentions: you have two tanks per round, and the tank you are not controlling is also vulnerable. So you can shoot your enemy's tank if it's just parked there, but he can switch to it quickly and start shooting you as well. And the difficulty switch sets if the rounds you fire will ricochet. The ricochet rounds can actually come back and hurt you as well, so that's a little different. It takes 3 shots to destroy a tank, and when you shoot a round, there's actually recoil, and the tank turns. The tanks do not go backwards. It's similar to Combat. You can only turn and go forward. And so if you've played the prototype of Combat 2, you'll recognize that this game is similar to that, and it's maybe the reason that Combat 2 was never released. VGR ratings for this game: the graphics are rated 3 for decent, and the playability is 3 for worth playing. So, like I said, I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'll show you the ricochet and the natural and all of that, the regular shots, and I'll go to the end of the game. I hope my sound works. I haven't checked it before this stream, but I'll go to the end of the game just so you see how the game ends. It's very underwhelming. Okay, so the game is reset. Okay, so there is sound. So I'm the green tank. So there's water. I'm going through water. There's land. And then here you see shoot, and it turns the tank. So that's a hit. I'll make it so it's there. So, and then there's a little explosion when you destroy a tank. And so now the other enemy tank, where is that at? Oh, up on the road. So this is actually a road. So I'm going to show you. You can fly down the roads. You can just absolutely fly down them. But shooting while you're driving is kind of a weird idea. So now it's 23 to 25. So now I'm hitting a building. So that's a building. So here I'm going to show you. I'll shoot some vulnerable tanks. Vulnerable tank. Okay, so now it switches to the other one. So I'm going to switch to my other tank. So to do that, you just pull back on your joystick. Well, that, oh, I bumped the other controller. It's like, what? Is the computer taking over? So there you see that when you go through the foliage, the trees, that checkerboard pattern, it slows your tank down. Water is the slowest. Now, I don't know if I can change it to ricochet in the middle of the game. Let's see here. So I put it in A difficulty, which is ricochet. Okay, so now I'm going to go up onto the road. Yeah, so I'm ricocheting. You saw that, right? So you can actually bounce shots off of buildings. It's really what they bounce off of. There you see I hit myself. Hit myself again. Destroyed myself. So now I'm switched to my other tank. So really there's no challenge here, so I'm just going to destroy. You see it bouncing around quite a bit. So now he's switched to that tank. And it doesn't take much to hit a tank. I mean, you can see I'm hitting it in its turret, and it's just short. Oop, hit myself. Alright, so on to the next round, 19 to 24. I'm just going to switch. This tank is closer. Doesn't have to navigate around stuff. So here's something, and let's see if it does it here. In the past when I did it, I was surprised. Yeah. If you hit them up against the building, you destroy yourself too. If you're right on top of it. So that the ricochet can come back and hit you. You can also, I think, yeah, destroy your own tank on accident. Or on purpose. Like shooting fish in a barrel. I'm hoping we can see there's a river scene where there's a bridge. Played it and it was in practice. I wanted to show you the bridges too. Because the bridges are roadways across water, but there's also, you can see, there was a little bit of effort put into programming this game. And this game isn't available for Intellivision. And so that's where this comes from. M Network made in television. I don't think we're going to see it here. So this game was ported from the Intellivision to the Atari. This is the one. So you see there's bridges here, so I'm going to switch to this guy. So you can go across the road like normal, but you can't get off the sides here. You can't run off the side of the bridge. Also, if you shoot, it ricochets in between the bridge. So be careful. Now all that's left is getting to the end of the game. So that guy's across the river. Just a couple more rounds and we'll... 5 more rounds and we'll end the game. Now, if you're good, yeah, you can ricochet it off buildings and hit the guy. Now, this is a battlefield I don't think I've seen before. So here's the bridge battlefield. When you start in the water, that's unusual. I never noticed that you could drive through your own tanks. I guess that's the easiest way, to be right on top of them. Nope. Well, that's unusual. That first one let me do it, but this one won't. Two more rounds. Here's another bridge. So you see the range, it doesn't quite go all the way across the board. The range is not as long as they were in combat. In combat, you could shoot for quite a long distance. One more round. Nope. That's it. 22-0. End of the game. So that's all I'm going to do for Armor Ambush. I think you've seen everything that's available in it. It's a pretty simple game, but it's, you know, I think with 2 players it probably is a little better than combat because the terrain. So the next game I have, is Tron Deadly Disc, or Killer Frisbees as I like to call this game. Put it in and turn it on. Not as fancy a beginning as the other Tron game. You call that one had that really colorful splash at the beginning. So I'll call up my information here on Tron Deadly Discs. So Tron Deadly Discs is cartridge MT5662. It was released in 1982, and it uses a joystick controller. And I did not have this game as a kid, and I didn't know anything about it. I'm actually familiar with the movie Tron, and this scene in the movie Tron. This is basically Frisbee battle between opponents, and I bought this game 15 years ago because a friend of mine was really hyped about it on the Intellivision. He had the Intellivision. I didn't know about him as a kid, but as an adult, he talked about Intellivision and Tron Deadly Discs, and that was one of his favorite games. I didn't think the game was all that great, but obviously he was looking through the rose-colored glasses of childhood, and so he really hyped up the game quite a bit. So this game is only made for a single player. You can't do multiple players. So you control the man in the screen with the disc, and you're pitted in a square arena with walls where the enemies will appear through doorways and throw their discs at you. You have to eliminate all the enemies with your disc, as well as surviving the bonus rounds against the recognizer. I have not gotten to a recognizer yet, and maybe that's not in this one. That may be in the Intellivision game. So you can throw a disc in 8 directions, all the positions of the joystick. When you throw, it appears as a horizontal line, and it moves in a straight line. And while in this mode, the horizontal line, it can actually hit an opponent and knock them out. But when it bounces off the wall and comes back, it's a square, and while it's in that mode, it doesn't do any damage. And it automatically comes back to you, and it's harmless, like I said. So I don't know if this is possible, because I don't know if I saw anything about this. That might be in Intellivision, so I'm not going to read that. So apparently, I think in the Intellivision game there's a lot more things. There's like recognizers and you can block discs, but I didn't see anything about that in the instructions. So the game ends if Tron takes too many hits from the enemy discs and doesn't have enough time to recover from them. So as time goes on, your player changes color due to the number of hits that you've been given, and if you get hit too many times, you just get derezzed. If enough time passes, though, you go back to the normal blue color. VGR ratings for this game: the graphics were rated 3 for decent, and the playability is 3 for worth playing. So I'm not able to get up into the higher rounds. I think I've gotten through 3 rounds or 2 rounds into the 3rd round, maybe. I get to the white enemies, so that's as far as I've gotten in practice. So we'll see how I do here for the stream. I'll just start, And you could touch the guys. And you have 10 seconds to get rid of all of them to get into the next round. So after you do the first one, you have 10 seconds until the next round starts. Nope. Took a hit. 3 hits, 4 hits. I was desperate, that's why. Nope, derezzed. Gonna reset. And the thing I found, it's best to get to them. Ugh. I'm hitting the button and it's not doing anything. It's best to hit them against the wall. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, and this game in particular does that. Ugh. Jesus. They're like ganging up on me, guys. Hold on, I'm gonna reset. Because I took a hit and that I think that and I think it's best to hit them after they've thrown it because then they can't hit you multiple times. So that's the game and the VCR and everything. It says NTSC there. You know, at first I was like, is this a PAL cartridge? But there, we got through that wave. Now that guy's shot, so... Ugh. When they hit you, it doesn't have to come back to them, and that's the difference between you and them. You throw it, it has to come back. They throw, they hit you, you're SOL. Come on! And two more appeared. That was great. I'm dead. This game is frustrating, but it's fun. And let's see if we can... Okay. Made it through the first round. Oh, crap. I'm pink now, or red, or whatever, what color you want to call it. It's not good. No, that's the early yellow. Ah. Oh, come on. Maybe the difficulty, I don't know if the difficulties are backwards on this, because this seems harder. Oh, I had it in the A difficulty. Huh. Well. Okay, so now let's see how I do. Yeah, that seems more like it. Come on, I'm taking too many hits here. So there I warped through the door. You can lock doors open. So that door is locked open now. Not doing any better in the easy. Ugh. Just missed it. There we go. Now there's the white guys, I think. Yeah. Woo! First time I defeated the white guys. Woo! I'm on fire! Of course, it's in the easy mode, right? What do you call this color? Burgundy? Oh, no! That's game. But, did decent. I'll play it again. Ah, come on. I knew that. Go. Get hit. This game is halfway decent. Oh no. Oh no. Should have had him. I suppose I never noticed it before, but Tron is wearing a baseball cap. Ah. Those white ones get real aggressive. So now... saw that coming in. All right, well, anyway, that's Tron Deadly Discs. I'm gonna turn that off. It's actually a pretty fun game. Not the worst, not the best. So the last game for this episode is Lock and Chase. So I'll put that in. Turn it on. Okay, see the game. I'll call up my information. So Lock and Chase is cartridge MT5663. It was released in 1982, and it also uses a joystick controller. And this is another game that I was familiar with as a child, but I never played. Also, when I bought the game 15 years ago, I never really played it. The this scheme is a Pac-Man clone, basically, and you're a robber collecting gold bars and treasures while running through the building, avoiding the police. Since everyone is familiar with Pac-Man, there's not much to say about the game. The A difficulty is a faster game, and the B difficulty is a slower. But as you play further, the police increase in speed. The game has more warps than Pac-Man. You see there's 2 on each side. There's a door at the top that's the escape of the building after you've collected all the gold bars and any treasures that show up, which look remarkably similar to power pellets from Pac-Man from Atari for the 2600. And the gold bars look similar to the dots in Pac-Man for the 2600 as well. There's not a lot of difference. The only difference really is you can close the door. I believe you have 5 lives in the game, and you can close the door behind you, and that's kind of similar to Mousetrap, where you can close the door and the cats, but you can't. I don't know if you can open it. I've not tried to open them. So VGR ratings for this game: the graphics are rated 3 for decent, and the playability is 3 for worth playing. And so I have it in the B difficulty, which is the easier difficulty. So I'm just going to go and start and see how I do. And to start the game, you just push the button and that launches your guy. Now that's a treasure there. I should have cut across. It plays that special tone whenever there's a treasure in the middle. So there, that pink line, that's a door I shut. But that other police officer was coming through. I tried to go left. I don't know what I'm doing here. So here's the warps. So when you get the treasure, everything pauses for a half a second. Don't know why. Now there's only horizontal doors. There's not vertical doors. So that's kind of a problem. And so that's game. It's not really that fancy. I have completed it in the past, so we'll just play and see how far I can get. This sounds it's different than Pac-Man. So I stuck myself back there. I probably could have pushed the button and closed another door, but I don't know. And there's these long straight lines that you can go through in the game. So I should have tried to get that treasure. I was right there. Oh, come on. 1. Ugh. I think that's game. Nope. Got 250 points for that. Ah! That's game. Just trying to get that one pellet. Alright, let's see. There, but oh, they were both there. I closed it behind myself. I tried to switch directions and close it behind me, but There we go. 500 points. Another 500 points. Let's get the strawberry one. Oh, I forgot. Then you got to go out the door. Well, it cleared the level. And those doors open up eventually. You can see the police don't use the warp. Ooh, I went right into that. Ah, oh, come on. Maybe he was through the door when I closed it. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. And they were on me that time. What's unusual about this game is you can go all the way around the perimeter. Ugh, unmolested. And then it's just a matter of filling in the internals. I thought I was going to run into the police on the other side of the warp. Oh, I missed it. So now, I've cleared all the gold bars. You saw the red door at the top open, so you go up in, it closes, and that's the end of the level. So, then it resets. The police are definitely faster than they were the first maze. Oof. That was a misstep on my part. That was game. So you see, the trick to getting a high score is to get all these little bonus bars. I should have closed the door behind me. I got lucky to get that one. So you see, you actually see, you have a half a second. So now let's see if I can just run around and avoid these dudes. And if more treasures show up, oh crap. I was just trying to get a high score because I know that they got faster at the next level. But that's basically Lock and Chase. It's a very simple game. There's not much to it. There's no guns. You're just running from the police, and that's basically all you do in this game. It's unfortunate that there's not a lot to it. So that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I know I'm not the best gamer out there, but I'm trying to bring you some information and some gameplay from my extensive collection. I'd like to remind everyone that even though we may be through the worst part of the pandemic, I want you to be healthy and stay safe. I still think it's a good idea to wash your hands and social distance. I appreciate you taking the time to watch me play these games. I stream on Twitch Friday, Saturday, and Sunday under the name AtariMan71. The videos from the stream are then released on YouTube the following week. I'll be streaming Atari again on Friday of this week with 6 new games. I will follow those games up with my Fable Friday gameplay. Thank you again, and have a great day.